Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? Adjman Senajob coming to you guys here today with another product opening. So today we have another booster box, and it's another booster box of Gatecrash. So this is actually the third box of Gatecrash that I am opening up here on the channel. If you guys want to purchase a box of Gatecrash, there's a link down below to abugames.com. They have plenty of them in stock, so be sure to order yourself one up, and you can pull some awesome stuff. Hopefully, like some of the stuff that I'm going to be pulling out of this box, but I don't know. We'll see. So I already started into the wrap here, so I don't waste too much time. But we are going to be rare hunting here, so we're just going to look for rares and foils and noteworthy uncommons, stuff like that. But we will see just what we pull out of here. So we have our flyer. I'm going to put that off to the side, and I'm going to be going down each column, top to bottom, left to right, as the packs are actually packed in the factory. So if anybody is trying to map this set or anything like that, I'm going to be going with the factory packing system here. So, not going to waste too much time here. Take a look at what we have. So, our first rare is Ooze Flux. Then we have Illusionist Bracers. I actually like the Bracers as far as limited goes. You get to play off of abilities that are being activated that your opponent or that your creatures have, and you get to kind of utilize playing off of things like that. We have Fathom Mage, so Evolved Creature. I played Simic in the pre-release, so with having Fathom Mage as my promo card, it was pretty useful because it let you have a outlet to draw a whole lot of things, especially because most of your creatures are already going to be kind of big. Well, at least I was playing a splash of Gruul as well, so I had the splash of red in there for some big creatures, so it let me kind of play off of all of my evolved things. So we have Lazov, Dimir Mastermind, so hexproof, 3/3 for 4, and whenever creatures are going to be hitting your opponent's graveyard, you can have Lazov become a copy of it, but he still keeps his ability and his hexproof, which is pretty awesome. So not a bad start to the box so far. We have the Molten Primordial, and then we have a foil Guild Scorn Ward, giving a creature protection from multicolored. And as far as the Primordials go, they're pretty good for EDH. They're alright for limited as well, but they were kind of expensive either way. We have Rebel Belt Raiders, and again, I'm seeing this like I saw in the last box that I opened up, the second Gatecrash one. The ink and the lettering on it's a little bit thicker than of normal cards, so I don't know if it's just Rebel Belt Raiders, but all the ones that I've opened up so far have had thicker lettering than the rest of the cards out of the pack and the other rares, so it's kind of interesting. And then we have a Foil Island, so I'm sure people are still going to be asking why there are Return to Ravnica lands in Gatecrash, and the answer to that is that Gatecrash doesn't have a basic land set. So, there you go. We have Unexpected Results. Not really a huge fan of it for constructed or limited. We have Breeding Pool, so our first shock out of here. So provides a green or blue to our mana pool. And it's battlefield tapped unless we're paying 2 life for it. And we have our Lord of the Void, so Mythic Forest here. So flying 7/7 for 7. And whenever it deals combat damage to a player, exile the top 7 cards of that player's library, then put a creature from among them onto the battlefield under your control. All this stupid. That's just an awesome card. And then we have a Domri Raid emblem, so it's worth like $1. Maybe not. Maybe a little bit more, or maybe not even that much at all. I like getting the emblems though. We have Whispering Madness, which was Windfall from back in the day. Each player discards his or her hand, then draws cards equal to the greatest number of cards a player discarded this way. And then it also has Cypher, which wasn't on Windfall back in the day. If it was, that would have been pretty crazy. Cypher is a cool mechanic, though. I like Cypher. So just a couple more packs in the first column. Actually, I think the next one's the last one. We have Immortal Servitude, bringing back creatures with converted mana cost X from our graveyard to the battlefield. If only it was X or less, that would make it even more awesome. So we have another Illusionist Bracers, and that does it for the first column. I'm gonna take a look at the second one here. We have Merciless Eviction, so 6 cost sorcery that lets us exile one of the following artifacts, creatures, enchantments, or planeswalkers. So it'll replace Terminus once Terminus rotates out. And then we have Aurelia, or Aurelia, however you want to pronounce it. The War Leader, so flying vigilance, haste 3/4 for 6. Whenever she attacks, untap all of whenever she attacks for the first time, should I say, because that's important. Untap all of your creatures, and then after that phase, there's an additional combat phase. So she lets you swing for a whole ton, and actually am playing her in Constructed. She's really strong. We have Consuming Aberration, power toughness equal to the number of cards in your opponent's graveyards, and whenever you cast a spell, each opponent has to reveal cards from the top of their library until they hit a land, and then they take those cards and put them into their graveyard. You have High Priest of Penance, so another card that has kind of a thicker lettering here, but whenever it's dealt damage, we get to destroy target non-land permanent. And we have Ogre Slumlord, so whenever non-token creatures die, you get to put a 1/1 rat onto the battlefield, and rats you control have Death Touch. We have the Black Primordial that lets us reanimate creatures from our opponent's grave whenever it enters the battlefield. So we get to choose one from each opponent's graveyard, and we can put them onto the battlefield under our control. Then we have a Cleric, which that's a kind of cool token. I like that Cleric. Then we have the Blue Primordial, the Diluvian Primordial. And then we have a foil Shamble Shark. So 3 foils so far. I think my last box had the most foils that I pulled out of Gatecrash boxes. This one's alright as far as foils go. Oh. Overly attached pack. We have Sacred Foundry, so a Shockland for us. So providing red or white. Enters the battlefield tapped unless we pay 2. We have the Legion Loyalist, so Haste Battalion, and whenever Battalion triggers off, creatures you control gain first strike trample and can't be blocked by tokens. And we have Realm Right. So if we can get some focus there, because my camera likes to not want to focus. But 1/1 for 1 blue. As it enters the battlefield, choose a basic land type. Lands you control are the chosen type in addition to their other types. It's a really cool card. And then we have a foil Biomass Mutation, so a foil rare. So creatures you control become XX until the end of the turn. Realm Right's a really, really interesting card, and I like Realm Right. The only thing that I wish was, like, Realm Right was a one blue enchantment so that, like, creature removal wouldn't be able to hit into it. And we have Angelic Skirmisher, 4/4 for 6. Flying at the beginning of each combat, you get to choose amongst First Strike, Vigilance, or Lifelink. You only get to choose one. And creatures you control gain that ability until the end of the turn. And last pack out of the second call. So we have Enter the Infinite with Therese Nielsen's awesome art. So Enter the Infinite is a sorcery card for a whopping 12 mana. Draw cards equal to the number of cards in your library, then put a card from your hand on top of your library. You have no maximum hand size until your next turn. Enter the Infinite's just really funny. And no foil out of this pack, but Enter the Infinite and, like, Omniscience, be able to play all of your things is just very, it's very crude, but it's very funny at the same time. So, Enter the Infinite's it's an interesting mythic. I like the artwork. Therese Nielsen's a really good artist, so she always does some interesting stuff. And we have Crypt Gas, so Extort 2/2 for 4, and whenever you tap a Swamp for mana, add 1 black to your mana pool, in addition to the mana that the lands are providing. So Crypt Gas is kind of fun. Like, you can play the enchantment from Innistrad, Heartless Summoning, and you can make it cast for 2 less mana, and then you can play it for 2 mana. It's a 1/1 that allows you to tap like a ridiculous amount of black mana next turn. So it's kind of easy way to get it out earlier. Play like mono black ramp and the Gristlebrand, draw all the things, play more of the creatures. So we have Firemane Avenger, Flying Battalion, 3/3 for 4 with the Battalion Lightning Helix. Dealing 3 to target creature or player, gain 3 life. Then we have Angelic Skirmisher, and I jumped the gun on it. 4/4 for 6 flying, and again, like I explained it before, it's a pretty solid card. And then we have a Foil Swamp. So is that the only foil land that we pulled out of here? Or no, it's the second one. So I pulled a decent amount of foil lands out of the boxes so far. We have Signal the Clans. Signal the Clans is another interesting card because you essentially are going to be finding 3 different creatures from your deck. So like 3 big things that you want to use, like 3 Blood Rush creatures unlimited, and then you randomly get one and put it into your hand. So I mean, you don't know which one you're going to get, but like in limited, if it's Blood Rush and you need Blood Rush to win, then you can definitely find your way around it and get something, at least one of the cards that are going to be useful for you. We have Hellkite Tyrant, that mythic. So 5/6 for 6 flying trample, and whenever it deals combat damage to the player, gain control of all artifacts that player controls. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more artifacts, you win the game. So hats off to you if you have 20 or more artifacts in EDH, because that's not too difficult to do, especially with some of the generals that are out there, Bosch and Una. So if you're playing like with Bosch, then you can play the Hellkite Tyrant. If you're playing with Una, you can, or if you're playing against Una, you can take their artifacts. As far as mainstream EDH decks go. We have Master Biomancer, so another mythic, 2/4 for 4. Each other creature you control enters the battlefield with a number of additional +1/+1 counters on it equal to Biomancer's power, and it's a mutant in addition to its other types. Not bad so far. Pretty happy about this box. And we have a Watery Grave, so providing blue or black for us. Oh, got some of that wrapper left over. And we have Nightveil Spectre, no foil. Nightveil Spectre, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you get to exile the top card of their library, and you can play cards that are exiled with Nightveil Spectre. And we have Alm's Beast, so 6/6 for 4. Creatures blocking and or blocked by Alm's Beast have lifelink. So it's kind of like the downside of that card, but it's still a 6/6 turn 4 and limited, which is pretty nuts. We have Boros Charm, which is good. We have Stomping Ground, so enters the battlefield, and we can pay 2 mana for it. If we don't, it comes in tapped and provides red or green to our mana pool. So what, 3 Shocklands, 4 Shocklands out of this. So Watery Grave, Stomping Ground, Sacred Foundry, and Breeding Pool. That's not bad. On top of the mythics that we pulled, that's pretty decent for this box. Well, it's actually pretty good. It's a little bit better than decent. And we have Biovisionary. So Biovisionary is funny. It's a 2/3 for 3, and at the beginning of the end step, if you control 4 or more creatures named Biovisionary, you win the game. So if you're able to like make all the copies of Biovisionary, Rite of Replication or something like that, or kicked Rite of Replication, should I say, or if you're able to have 4 in your grave and go Angel of Glory's Rise, reanimate all of them because they are a human. I mean, that's another thing too. We have a Foil Syndicate Enforcer. so that's cool. And the last pack, so we'll see if it's any good. But like I said, I'm overall pleased with the box so far, so whatever we get, it doesn't really matter. And we have Mind Grind, so I'm not too disappointed about that. I like Mind Grind. It's modeled after Mind Funeral, and you get to mill out your opponent until they hit X amount of lands. X can't be 0, obviously, but it can potentially be a better Mind Funeral for us late game in control, and it's definitely going to be something that I'm going to be utilizing for late game control tactics. So I like this box overall. So just going over some of the stuff that was pretty good as far as our pools go. Lazov was good. Breeding pool. We have the Lord of the Void. That was a mythic. Aurelia was another mythic there. A few of the Primordials. Sacred Foundry. Legion Loyalist wasn't bad. Realm Right is another card that I like. Enter the Infinite. Cryptcast is another cool card. Hellkite Tyrant. Biomancer. Watery Grave. Stomping Grounds. And Mind Grind wasn't bad. Two foil lands. Boros Charm and Domri Raid Emblem without Domri Raid in the box. But overall, pretty good box, I would have to say. If you guys want to purchase a box of Gatecrash, there's a link down below to aviewgames.com where you can buy one. They're always in stock, and they are pretty awesome to open up and have some fun with. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe for more Magic the Gathering content. But until next time, guys, have yourselves a wonderful, fun-filled Magic the Gathering day.